Welcome to a spirit animal message. And before I go into the reading that I'm about to read, I'd like to say thank you to all the people that are following me and subscribing to me. I know I had been doing readings mostly every day, and I will continue to do that. I did take a few days, but I wasn't feeling that great. So just to let anyone know who is out there paying attention to these readings regularly. Also, I would like to ask my listeners if this would be something that you would be interested in doing. If you comment, if you're willing to do this, where I choose your comment, your emoji. If you give me an emoji and give me permission to use and to work with your energy as a video on my channel, I will focus on your energy through your comment, and you just give me the emoji that you'd like to watch out for, and maybe even make it a couple emojis just so you know it's for you, just in case somebody else has the same thing. Like, I don't know, make it like sort of like a code for yourself through emojis. And I'll just call it spirit animal message, because know that your journey is a reflection of someone else's journey. So if you're willing to be a participant and have a spirit animal message specially made within for you, but then uploaded on this channel, comment and then leave an emoji, and I will choose, I will go through those messages and do readings, and you can find it through your emoji should you choose to participate. This way, I'm giving you a chance to give me permission. I'm also getting a chance to focus on your energy a little bit, and then do the reading. And then it'll be up to you to watch out for it. For this reading, we have this message for those people that are going to resonate to this message. Thank you for coming to this message. Everyone who comes to this message know how much this energy exchange means to me. I've been reading tarot since I was a little girl. It isn't until now, until the start of the year, that I really started making this commitment to making it a part of my daily life. And it's not just about the reading. There is this inner work that happens for me through these readings in my own self-respect, my own energy self-respect, and life self-respect. So thank you for those that are liking and subscribing to this channel. I only plan to expand on what it is that I am doing. It's been a lot of getting to know myself through being it. And thank you again, like I was saying. But for this message, I would like to just go back to the message now. You may be apprehensive about following through with something. And I just want to read some notes that I had written down before I go ahead with the cards. So much great potential was something I wrote down. Spirit is saying that action is a go. Whatever you've been holding back on, whatever you've been kind of holding yourself back from, maybe there's been something inside of you that's been holding you back, and maybe there's levels of fear that it's I don't know, but there's been something holding you back in some way, possibly, in this potentiality where this action is a go. Your spirit team wants you to go with this and continue with this. Uh Continue with the work that you're putting in, that the work that is speaking through your passion, through your soul, through your being. Uh be something. To be something, you must go through it. To know something is to go through it. When I started this channel, there was so much going on in my existence. The idea of putting myself behind a camera and being in this space, there, the levels of comprehension to what I now understand about how, like, it's, there was this moment of that fool where I did this leap, right? And then through being it and taking a step on a daily basis, you get to this side where you understand why. I don't know if anyone ever seen this. This, I don't know. There's like this little video of, I don't know if anyone ever has seen The Big Bang Theory, but there's Sheldon is holding like a book and or something. He's holding a piece of paper, and he's like, why? And he's like, oh, that's why. And then there is this moment right now, this completion moment, this tree of life moment. I don't know. There's something strong there. There must be. If I'm resonating so strongly with the tree of life presently, then I would imagine those that are coming here are also on some level resonating to the tree of life. And I've been strongly connecting to this energy of the tree of life. It's just, there's been more revealing to me recently through that energy. And it's so beautiful. And and then I saw deer, and they hesitated, and they could have gone. They had tons of time. They didn't have to be apprehensive. I felt this energy sort of spike, and I felt this energy of, like, they hesitated, and you felt the strength of hesitation. And it felt like there was this moment where the universe was speaking to me, and I already had so many moments throughout the day that go above and beyond words. It's those synchronistic moments where puzzle pieces continuously show up and make what you're doing clearer. Because sometimes the way that I'm doing it right now, where I'm naming, and where I had so many named, a spirit animal message. And I think about the natural world, and I think about tribes, and I think about Indians, and I think about the way that the spirit is to connect to the natural world. There, to be so connected to spirit. And I felt recently, I even saw in my mind, and I don't know what this is exactly, but I keep seeing this. I saw this tree growing into the ground. It looked like it's almost as though instead of it growing upright, it was growing into the ground. I don't know what that means, but it was just this image moment where, and it even looked like there was this reflection. It even looked like there was this, but the image above wasn't the same as below. The other side, the one that was above the ground, was actually just this reflection of what was below the surface of the earth. And the earth had this tree, and the tree was upside down and growing into the earth versus out of the earth. And I saw this image of trees doing this, and it was just like this moment of like, oh my goodness. I don't mean to say keep saying that, but there is also this potential for competition for what you're working towards, and the universe is saying don't think about the competition, because there may be something about you, and this is just true to myself, and this is maybe that why I had just explained that part of my own life, is there whatever is holding you back, whatever story you're telling yourself that you think that, okay, well, this might not work out, or maybe not, maybe it's even a micro dose of doubt. And if you microdose on doubt, you're gonna doubt yourself right out of doing something. I can tell you. As and it isn't, maybe it isn't even doubt in the way that we think of doubt, because sometimes we think of doubt and we get so surface about what doubt actually is, and we don't, there's so much inner work and inner psyche, and sometimes people put a lot of maybe, I don't know, expectation on things, and there is a process to things. There is a process to things, and you've been putting into the work in it for that process. And the universe is saying continue to put work into that part of yourself. Whatever you had been apprehensive about, take action on that thing, because you don't know what that thing, because it's inspired action. The universe talks to us through our energy body, through those senses that we feel, and all of a sudden we're like, we're gonna do this, and we don't know why we're doing it or whatever. There's a reason. Especially if you're that one of those people that are in tune with themselves. You know, you're giving yourself, you're robbing yourself of potential greatness, because the universe is guiding you in through that inspiration moment. And it's time to go. There's something that it's time to take action on and really commit, maybe funnel more energy towards it. I just want to read more notes. Your spirit team congratulates you. That was another thing, because I had butterflies even at the bottom of the deck, and because I wasn't sure if I was going to add that part, and I was even quite asking myself, and I don't know why, but there were the butterflies, and the way there was many of them, and then I had seen this energy of just many, and then this potential, and then it wanted to come towards me, but it felt like there was this hesitation, like there was this energy hesitation, and it was almost like the energy hesitation that is happening for you, or whatever that is for you, it's time to work on releasing it, because whatever that is, whatever is keeping you from being that, is really keeping you from just this greater potential and greater possibilities, vibration of love and above, continuous leveling up, levels of experience, the experience of happiness that is just continuously in blissful space. Let's just say that. Because it's to be the divinity within your own being, right? Because we so often, wonder, where is the divinity in the world? The divinity in the world is what works through every singular person on the planet. That's where the divinity is. You know, we wonder where it is. It's the what is the universe? What is the God? What is God? What is Jesus? What is any spiritual being from what I've understood has been saying is that the spirit, the divinity isn't on the outside of you. It is on the outside of you because it is on the outside. It is, of course it is, because that is still the all, that is still God. Because you can't, I mean, the universe meets you in the middle, right? If you're being a certain level of some form that isn't in that divine space, and you perceive it in any fashion, it's time to face it and work on it and move forward and do whatever it takes to face yourself. Because facing ourselves and knowing ourselves, because there's so much going on in this brain of ours. And honestly, in my personal opinion, the best way to know yourself is to know the brain. Learn the brain, the actual brain. Learn how it works, how the brain works, how it connects to the spinal cord, you know, how each part of our brain works in different ways, how it connects. You know, I think of just how knowing ourselves, knowing the physiological part of ourselves is not just, you know, it's not just knowing about the physical body. You know, you put your own body in the hands of somebody else who is learning the body also. Meeting that person in the middle by knowing your own body, by knowing your body, and knowing your energy body, because people look to another to guide them through knowing it or maybe clearing it, but the self-respect is to know or understand what it is, and to not be afraid to respect it, because if some form of a fear of being weird is something I've noticed in the world of people, that some people find meditation to, not everyone, and this isn't for everyone, that energy, they find it to be weird. Meditation is a very important part of getting to know ourselves and connecting we're losing connection to Mother Earth on a level, and we're actually on a level killing her, basically, by disrespecting her and not connecting to the self that is, and perceiving when we're making a mistake, because we have an ego, and sometimes we're not making a mistake, no matter how many mistakes we're actually making. But that is something that happens that sometimes can help us to perceive when we're making the right choice. It's almost like the energy starts to freely bloom versus give resistance. Also, your spirit team has messages for you. Your spirit team has messages for you and would like you to meditate continuously and get to know your spirit team. Your spirit team would like you to know itself, would like you to know it. And get to know your spirit team. Your spirit team has messages for you. You need to get to know your spirit team. Introspection is important because possibilities are always available to you, and the more you understand about that, what those are, what those potentialities are, through self-work and that self-discipline, through that daily work on self, it's like there's greater potential. Being connected and greater potential is still rising within you. We have, oh, and this was another thing I would like to mention before I go too fast. It's almost like the energy wants to just go straight towards you. It's almost like spiritual. I think of spiritual liberation, and I think of spirit team, and I think about the experience of life and living that best life, right? And being, because the universe doesn't want us to be in woe. The experience of life should be of joy. Joy. Think about how would you like to live your life? Every moment, every frame of existence. How would you prefer to live your frame of existence? In that frame of joy, right? Perception of joy, that frame of joy. So, however, sometimes we can't always, the outside world comes towards us, and then we're in the present moment of meeting it in the middle. And then, there's so many things sometimes that are outside of ourselves, but being in that space of saying, I'm going to remain in joy. I'm going to remain in that level of love and above, because being in joy is a much better experience. Yes, we're still going to have moments where we're sad. However, those experiences are lessons of what is not in alignment, or maybe of life lessons, or however that it's a release. When we go through those, we have ebbs and flows in life, and I think being respectful and having faith of the greater all, and keep remembering that the universe is magnificent, because the universe is listening to what you're saying. And I really have been perceiving better and increasingly about what we say, words we say that have, and I at first really wasn't sure if I was right about this. I actually was very apprehensive about speaking about it. But the more that I'm starting to perceive that I've been right about things that I have no idea how I'm right about them sometimes, it's like I've known some of this before, and I'm just remembering so much that once I perceive that I'm correct, I'm just like, wow, I don't know how I did. It blows my mind no matter how many times that happens. Let's see. So, hummingbird, the energy moving towards you. It's this quick, high vibrational. And I perceive the hummingbird as this very high vibrational creature. I think it's one of the more high vibrational creatures. I think that the way that it moves, to me, it looks like it's moving in a way where it's moving through dimensions, the way it moves. And you can shift your life. You can shift your timeline to this greater potential that's coming in, these greater opportunities coming in. It just seems like there's it's not just one, it's just like opportunity. It's like a bunch of opportunity. I almost want to say it's almost like the way that it even feels now and even earlier, and there's like a reflection of it continuously being in this repetition of many, and there's this resistance, but it's actually coming from the person, so it's coming from the viewer. There's some resistance within your own energy field, and this greater potential is just so strong. It's just these opportunities that just want to come for you. You know how it's like, instead of you coming to something out of some random potentiality, it's like there's so much that would like to come for you. There's so much that is just like, please, this greater potential. Maybe it's even some version of yourself in the future that's saying, take this action that you. So, I think that was the message, to get on with the reading. Dear love, be gentle with yourself. You heal with the power of love. See the light in all things. Acknowledge your self-worth and grace. Dear, your senses are heightened. You have heightened senses. Like all of your, it's like your unconscious senses, your conscious senses, all of them, not just one of them, but them all are in this expanded you're able to perceive in this expanded way, in this wider spectrum. And because of that reason, it's time for you to claim this potential within you. It's time. It's time to claim this within you, because it's already there. It's right there. It's like this dragon. This dragon is within you. There's so much resonance within dragons, and it's this energy being that we resonate to, because there's this energy that's, I feel, also within us, within our own DNA of some sort, that has something that really draws us through. It's like feel the dragon inside of you. Feel the power rush right through. I think about, the pain that can ever happen, or any of the experience, whatever side of the and I think about how a sword can also represent air, and how that air, that communication can cut, or it can flow. It can increase the flow of the flow state in something, or it can create just like that pain. But I feel it's almost I don't know how to explain it, because it just feels like there's this flow. You are the ancient wise sage. You can shapeshift at will. Mastery is your destiny. Rise with dignity. It's like a rise. Rise into this self. Whatever that is for you. Because this greater potential that is I don't know, that you're apprehensive. That there was the word that was the strongest was apprehensive. So there's something that you've been feeling energetically apprehensive about. And maybe there had been some form of energy block that maybe even has cleared with this Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Maybe that's the message. Because I was just saying, your spirit team, that was written down. That was something I was feeling. And I sensed it. It wasn't just, and maybe you don't want to, if you don't want to believe me, meditate and, get to know your spirit team, that you have energies with you. So, what is something this collective should know right now? In this present moment, what is the beginning position of this cross? This go. What is this? Yeah, okay. the present moment of what's going on, of what this energy is about, you've put a lot of work in. You've put a lot of work in already, but you haven't seen the results of your work. But you've put a lot of work in. And it's kind of been, the fact that it hasn't quite gotten there, I think has been getting to you. It's been getting to you in a way, and it's not, and that's understandable. You know, there's this work that's been put in, and it's like, perhaps there's probably, reasons why there's that energy resistance. There's external forces too, right? There's that external force also. So what's crossing this situation, since there's this resistance and there's already been so much work put in, right? So what's crossing? What maybe is crossing this that can help guide? No, that's not it. I just wasn't sure what's crossing this situation. Let it fall out on its own naturally, because I prefer it that way right now. So let this spirit. Okay. What's crossing is the Empress. You're actually in, now what was I saying? The tree. You're standing in your personal power. You're standing in your magnetism. I almost want to say you're standing in your own matriarch of yourself, of your sovereignty. You're receiving, you're about to receive. Okay, I apologize for all that, but you're about to receive. That's the message. Apologize for any extra. That's the message. It's the message is don't give up. You're about to receive the energy exchange you deserve for all the work that you've put in. And I say that, and the Six of Pentacles shows up once more, just at the bottom of the deck, which is this, financial gift, potentially, or, maybe a large amount at once. Because it's also a card that can mean inheritance, but depending on where it is in all those things, but it also can mean, in my opinion, if it's something so grandiose as something as an inheritance coming from your ancestral line. Oh my God. That's another thing. This is something I wasn't even thinking about, and now I understand a little bit better. Something that you've been experiencing is coming from your ancestral line. There's maybe even been, like, what you're capable of doing comes from an ancestral line. You're connecting to an ancestral line. You're maybe an ancestral line of don't know. I want to say like maybe it's almost like power, but I know that's, I don't know how that would be perceived, or just energy. That greater potential, that strength. It's like they learned. I think about, oh my goodness, what is it that I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about this movie, or was it a movie or a show? And there was this girl, and I can't remember, but she goes inside, I think it's, I don't know if it's a dragon place, or there's a ghost or a witch or something, but she runs into the spirits of those that had lost a battle before her in some way. It's like they did something, they got so far, they worked so hard and they got so far, and something happened, and they didn't, maybe there was potential that they wish they would have reached, and they see you reaching an incredible amount of potential. I'm actually feeling the energy itself. It's almost as though, excuse me, it's almost as though the spirit team itself is so emotional. Excuse me 1 second. So, spirit teams, spirits. What is the destiny? That was intense. So, Father of Wands, action. The destiny is to take action. The destiny is to be your passion, to be it in such a confident and whole way. It's like, bring in your energy and funnel it into in this. Your destiny is to be able to, not just, this is going to be you. This is your destiny, is to be this fully awakened, to awaken your kundalini, to have enlightenment, and maybe that's just my own personal view on this card right now. I just think of the snake, and I think of that transformation, and then we see this dragon also, and I think about the kundalini energy rising through the energy body, through the spine, and knowing that we have this fluid within our own spines, that we can bring these crystals into, it's like they go through this process, and they come back to our brains, and they reach our pineal gland, and they expand our consciousness. But your destiny is not to just awaken, but is to be your awakening, is to be the experience of life, and to experience it in this fuller way, in this more confident way, to lead yourself forward, and to continuously work. Because I think of how that flow within yourself, when we experience in life, things are constantly coming towards us. So your destiny is to keep that work. You have greatness. I swear, it's so strong. It's so powerful. And there's so much of it coming through at once. But you must do the work to meet it in the middle. Continue to do that work. There's just one thing I'd like to check before I move ahead, because I just don't want to miss anything. So yeah, you're meeting a time in your destiny is to take that action based on your intuition and confidently assert yourself towards your this is what I was saying, funneling yourself towards it, working through those resistance. I myself the last few days even felt this energy. It was just like it was increased resistance, and it's so weird because this is the reading and I don't know what it was. It wasn't all me though. It wasn't just resistance to do this. It was just I had a lot of things going on in my life and I felt drained, emotionally drained, my own personal life. I have challenging, we all have challenging situations with our own family sometimes. And, with the mind being so, can be so different in any one person. And health can affect our minds. And what we perceive to be correct or not correct based on what we know about something. So I just say, whatever it is, you're meant to take that action and be it, because this is you. This is something you are born to do. This is why the universe is continuously showing up and letting you know what it is. And it's like the universe is reflecting to you. It supports it. It supports it in every way. And just keep being you. Keep meeting the day in the middle. Keep working through that energy. And even today, I reminded myself, there's so much freedom given within this this understanding that I've been repeating to myself of release expectation and enjoy every day. Yes, it is to be what is expected of you, to be your self-respected self, but it's also to be that self-respected self when it's time to rest too, or when it's time to give yourself that inner space or outer space or however that is, because that's a form of self-respect that so often is neglected, because we get these goals and we get this focus, and we're so eager, but sometimes within that space of pace, there's an alchemical process happening maybe, and the greater potentiality that could be birthed is maybe just still cooking. It's like things that it's like it's not meant to. It's okay to need or to require it, and to allow it, and to work on that balance, because it's all a balance. Because yes, that greater potential with all, what is that? With great power comes great responsibility. However, your responsibility is also to take care of yourself, and choosing to love yourself is going to expand love. I feel like just that, I just think about how it reflects, it ripples. You can't spray. You had a bottle of perfume and you sprayed it, and let's say the perfume was called happiness. If you spray happiness on someone, you can't help but get a few drops on yourself. So if you're being happiness, because you're giving it. Your energetic exchange is some form of joy or value. You're giving value to others through a self-respect of the self. What is the, let's see, in the distant past? In the distant past. Energy to, or a card to help me perceive the distant past that helps to perceive what is going on in this situation here in the present moment. Something that, you know, maybe affected this energy. What affected the apprehension? Oh. What affected what was affecting this apprehension, what was causing a lot of it, was some form of walking away. You were internally walking away from something, or maybe a number of things. And it was like you yourself had kind of broken on a level, and not to say that it was like you broke, but maybe it did break you, and coming back and putting those pieces back together, you're not the same person. And when you put yourself back together, you're a more whole, complete, I think, person. You got rid of the pieces that were an illusion, maybe, or I don't know, there's some sort of leaving a situation that is no longer in alignment with who you really are, or of what that love is, to receive the love. And maybe you weren't receiving love in some fashion, in that harmonious balance from somewhere, and there was this internal walking away, or an external one also. This is feeling more internal as I'm saying it. There's some form of internal walking away. It's almost like you're, I don't know, I just feel like you had an ego death, and it really, it's been this process on the inside of your body, just dealing with it, because it's almost, I don't know what it is. I guess it depends on how you resonate to that. In the recent past, in the more recent past, so in the recent past, there was some form of event or a leveling up in a connection. You know what this is? And as I was saying it, it's almost like it met me in the middle, like, no, this is what it is. You leveled up within what you know about yourself, or you're leveling up within, like the love from within is leveling up. And as a result, the reflection is it's bringing more in. However, there is that, what I was saying before, that push to act You had been leveling up within success. You've been leveling up in a number of ways. There's been a process going on within your being, within your energy body. It's like you're that portal of self, because the self is this portal. So in the future, a future influence on all of this energy moving forward. What is a influence that we can... Son of Cups. I feel like in this situation you've gone through what an internal journey, and you've come out the other end knowing yourself and holding that cup from within, that you are that cup, and it's now being in that space of maturity. And I feel like now is this space where you're getting to know yourself in that space of, I feel whole and complete. And because maybe it's something you've not ever really experienced, and this is just something that, you know, you're really... And it's not the external that has changed. It's you that's changed. It's your own insides that has changed. You yourself have had this awakening on the inside of your body. And now, you know, you are connected in this way. And you're getting to know that. And not in just a way where it's in a way where you can talk about it with someone else and actually give someone else an understanding in some rational way. Because, you know, so often it's what we don't understand, you know, or what is misinterpreted. Because so often we misinterpret something because we have an ego and we think we know everything. Or we get an information through maybe even a mass amount of people. And because many people believe something, we believe it to be true. But then through resonance, we see that there is expanded truth within the truth. And then it opens up this greater, I don't know, this greater patience, and not just patience, that's not the right word. This greater desire to take care of yourself, this greater desire to care for your energy body, because you perceive the truth of that. You awaken to the truth. There's been some form of an enlightenment. There's been judgment. You've been enlightened. You've been enlightened. You're enlightened. You've been enlightened to something. Maybe not in full enlightenment, but you're on a very strong path of enlightenment. There's, like, we all are. It's just that you've been taking that step regularly, and more is being revealed to you. I go back to this greater potential, all this energy that it's just like there's just so many things that just want to go. I think of shooting stars. Only just think of those shooting stars as various moments in time where you're gonna be meeting up with miracles or lucky moments where you're not going to be like, wow, this happened, and you're, and it's just going to keep happening. That's what it feels like. But there is something to continuously work on because of that, to clear that resistance and to keep going, flow. There's things that you don't know, and you're working on your own abilities of intuition. What is a perspective? What is a perspective? A perspective is that you are on this journey for long-term success. You've already succeeded. That's what it is. The truth is, what the perspective is that you've already succeeded. You've already gone through the journey to create a foundation for yourself. You just got to keep going. You just can't give up. That's the point. That's what the story is about right here, is to not give up. Because you've already put in the work. You've already been taking that. This is the long haul journey. This is one of those paths that's for the long haul. And you just keep going. No matter what's going on outside, you meet the outside in the middle as it comes. However, you just keep putting in this work, because this is where your success and this greatness, this greater potential, financially, but financially in fulfillment. You're personally, both internally and externally, the abundance is not just in the material world. The abundance is in the internal world too. There's a reflection. You see it within the moon. Instead of it reflecting light, it's reflecting a coin. The coin is on the moon, as though it's eclipsing the moon. And the moon can represent the psyche and the internal unconscious. And then that internal unconscious bringing in a form of abundance that's more in flow with who you truly are. But keep putting that work in, whatever receptive has been happening. Take that action. What is your environment? Boom, and it came out again. Only this time it wasn't at the bottom of the deck, it came out for the environment. Okay. I'm a little... I just don't want to miss saying what it is because of where it's placed. 1 second. Yeah. I apologize, just 1 moment. Receiving the environment is you're about to your environment is you're about to receive. Your environment is you're about to receive. And like I was just, it's just honestly what I was reading. I was just trying to make sure before I said too much because of what I know about the card, and there's just so many perspectives that can, depending on what you're perceiving it through, of how you can interpret it. I don't want to misinterpret it, so I just wanted to take a second. And as I'm looking at the card, the same, I don't know, there's something going on here where the reflection of like the realm of unconscious to the material world. The universe wants to gift you, and it's going to. That's the environment. There's gifts coming in for you. There's some form of a financial, I don't know how that will resonate, but it has some significance considering that there is, this could also, depending on its position or what is being perceived through the reading, it's also a card that can be referred to for inheritance. Although in this position, in this resonance, in this feeling state that it feels gifts. It feels like a gift, like greater, like a gifts of abundance, and maybe even. And I think about how abundance is also fulfillment. It's being in part of life, in the present moment, being in flow with life, being free to experience life, material, because it's coming into the material world. There's abundance coming in for you. And I don't think it's just one amount. I think it's just like boom, 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 and it's just going to be continuous. You just got to keep, like, out, whatever, just keep putting it into action. Let's see. Your feelings, your emotional body. How is this all going to affect your emotional body moving forward? How is this going to affect your emotional body moving forward? You've got the Hangman. You're not really sure. You're very much in the present moment, and however somebody reads this, to me, it's not flighty because it's the Hangman. You're in this deliberate suspended position because you don't know which way to go. However, I am sensing this feeling of, with everything that's been going on, it's like you're going through that transformation from everything that you've been dealing with. And it's almost like you're inside and looking outward, and it's like, what do I do here? Because I have what is required now, and it's like, now it's to ask yourself, what do you want? And when you've not, maybe if you hadn't been able to ask yourself that, or if you haven't ever had that ability to be in that space, it's so new. It's to know that new version of self after maybe changing quite a bit financially. This is gonna maybe leaving you, because it's maybe intimidating on the level, because there's just a lot to deal with, maybe. But it's not just that. There's just this cocoon space that I see you going into. But not in a negative way. It's not a bad way. It's more of this deliberate, like I said, it's deliberate because you're going to get a different perspective through that time, or through that process of taking a step back to better, maybe clearly perceive what's coming, or what you're moving towards, and meeting in the middle, so you can create your own reality. Wish fulfillment is the final card too, which I think is really, so whatever you've been thinking about in this reading, whatever you've been praying would happen, or whatever you really pray is gonna work out, or whatever, you know, that action is meant to be channeled into, and continuously grow that work that you've already put in. You're receiving all that work that you've already put in. You're receiving, and you're about to receive the that what you desire, what you deserve. Race, action, nostalgic action, and communication. Nostalgic action. Say somebody takes, maybe like I think of the Fool, taking that leap that that would seem foolish to others because of something of memories and nostalgia and connection. And there is this incoming communication about someone wanting to let you know how they feel, possibly also. We're going to pull a card from the 42 Ideals of Ma'at in Daily Life. Ooh. I don't know where my dice went right now. I have to get my dice, but I don't have them out right now. I was going to grab them, but I don't know where they are. So, one card from the 42 Ideals of Ma'at in Daily Life. I carry my dice around sometimes, so I think I am trustful in my relations. I am trustful in my relations. And I'm going to read from the book, because the book gives a beautiful interpretation of these cards that is so intricate and gorgeous that I wouldn't want to disrespect it and try to recreate it through my own mind, because it's already so beautiful. I am trustful in my relationships. So, I am trustful in my relationships. 19 is the number of this card. If you add the 1 and the 9, I like to do that, and that is 10. So then you get 10, which is the highest of that 1 through 10 numerical order, and then we go through the next expansion, returning back to a 1. New beginnings. It's like through all the potential coming in, all these new, this luck, these gifts, or all this abundance of life. It's just continuous new beginnings. I am trustful in my relationships. Our relationships are forged from a dynamic combination of the natural disposition called forth from genetics and the nurturing of our families during the developmental ages of our youth. Nature and nurture walk hand in hand as we follow the path laid in front of us by experience, embedded into epigenetics, sense memories. And epigenetics, for those that may not know what that is, epigenetics is how our DNA stores our ancestral, our DNA, the generations. I'd say, I don't know how many, like 7 generations, or I don't know how many it is. I think it's 7 generations or so, or maybe more even, past, where it's stored within your own DNA. So what you do now is also going to affect, if through your DNA, whatever comes through your lineage, what you do affects that individual moving into the future, because what's in your DNA is also going to be in their DNA. And if you transmute the DNA, and that's what you've been doing, you've been transmuting the epigenetics in your ancestral line, and actually you're meant to break ancestral curses. You think about how life has moved through time. Think about time, and think about where humanity has been through time, and how, we think time is, we think 100 years ago was so long ago, and it wasn't even that long ago. It was a blink of an eye. It was a blink of somebody's eye. Think about that, because somebody lived to be 100, and they'll tell you, it felt like I blinked, and they probably experienced life, but it just goes. Life can go so quickly sometimes, but experiencing life, being in that space of fulfillment, life slows down. Life feels like you're living, and that's peaceful. Living in peace, then you are peace. Then you are the self-respected embodiment of peace, and by being peace, you sprinkle peace just through being it onto others, because of that joy, that experience of joy that you're experiencing, and it's like you're spraying it out into the world, and you get it back on you through being it. I don't know, I just had that going. Sense memories become manifest from the tendrils of these experiences, which can either taint or tether our lens of perception and projection. Whether we realize it or not, we most often tend to see things as we are, not necessarily as they are. How we relate to the world is rooted in how we relate to our own nature, and what we choose to nurture inside of our heart shimmers in the light which we shine on the mask of personality chosen. And that is Vocals. Her name is Vocals, and she is a cockatiel. And she was born around Valentine's Day this year. When a cockatiel is an animal that represents the energy of spiritual liberation. And I think it's because they live in joy and they look at themselves. And it's actually a good thing to look in the mirror and reflect and perceive yourself. Because so often when we don't look in the mirror, that means that other people are seeing you more clearly than you're seeing yourself, because you never look in the mirror, so you never actually reflect and look in your own reflection, reflecting your reflection. You're looking at your reflection, you're reflecting on yourself, you're looking at yourself. You know, you get naked in front of that mirror, you're reflecting on what you look like. And that respect that you either had or had not been giving to yourself on a regular basis. Because sometimes self-respect to ourselves can be, it's these things like, I want to do this, this, and this. Well, that self-respect gives you a greater present moment of being that also affects the life around you and the generations moving forward. And where would you want life that your DNA is within? How would you want that life to move forward? Wouldn't you want it to live joyously in peace and expanded happiness? Through being it, we give that future that greater chance. When we secure ourselves, we can find security reflected back in the relationships we cultivate and allow. When we relate to our relationships with an intention of seeking vision within the fractal of fragments of the greater whole, we can find and unite a consciousness that sees and nourishes the interconnected nature of all. Lakota tradition shares this concept with the prayer Mitsakoya Oyasin, which translates to all my relations, or we are all related, and honors the harmony that reverberates through every realm. Of consciousness in every walk of life. The Lakota cherish this prayer, their prayer as a tenet of their cultural ethos, and this perspective is not something that is taken lightly. In applying the ideal of finding trust in relationships, we are reminded to trust that we are a microcosm of the macrocosm, a meta of the metaphor, a mirror of the one mind. Famed theosophical writer and one of the first to use the term New Age, Alice A. Bailey, also emphasized the notion of right human relations within her occult teachings as a channel for the Tibetan master Juan Kuhl. She taught that meditation was the vehicle for students to imagine right human relationships by visualizing love and light and pouring into all human hearts and minds. When we feel insecure, we must remember that the tendrils we tend toward we may reveal lessons in the tapestry woven. If we see a certain pattern that is a projection of pain, broken promises, and poor treatment, we must pause and meditate on what may be learned and how we may let this go so that a new design can emerge. Transmute tension with the power of breath, the beauty of awareness, and the security of knowing that time becomes malleable when we can relate to it in confidence. So think about that. That time is malleable if we relate to it in confidence. That the present moment of you can shift timelines. You can shift choices. I think about how it can be a lower vibrational version of self or a higher vibrational version of self. But sometimes, you know, just because somebody has those lower vibrational versions of self, maybe I think about the comeback is always greater than the setback. So remember that. So the setback maybe was just that space within you that maybe was required. So when you come back after some of that resistance, it's just like letting a rubber band where you pull it back and you let it go and it just flies, right? And it just takes off. And you don't know what happened to it. Well, you do. It went far. And that's what's happening here. You're meant to go far. And I pray this message reaches the right people. I believe it will. And thank you for coming to this message. Please like and follow. Don't forget to leave your comment if that's something you would like to do. Leave a comment, and if you'd like to get a reading on my channel, once again, leave the emoji pattern that you would like to watch out for, and make sure you just watch out for your reading as it comes out. Other than that, thank you and live in peace. 56:56 on the time when I was about to end. So 5, 6 is 11, 5, 6 is 11, 11, 11. And that's when I had started this message. 11, 11.